And y'all, welcome back to She Speaks Live. I'm your host, Nicci Gilbert Daniels, and I am so honored to have my sister in song. Yeah, y'all might have synced a few things on that R&B Divas moment, but when I tell you, I am so grateful that my friend, who I call affectionately Angela Laverne Brown Williams Stone, Angie B,
okay,
is in the building. Y'all, let's give it up for Angie Stone.
I'm so honored.
Queen of Soul. Look, our Queen of Soul has moved on to heaven, but we definitely are left with you. Angie,
thank you.
First of all, I think a lot of people saw us on that show, R&B Divas, and they were left with the impression that we had issues. And we're here to let y'all know.
Not true.
That is not the case.
Let me just say since you touched on that right away, as we're getting started, you know, I'm the kind of person that I believe that when you're in a situation where the perception is misperceived, someone has to get the record straight. I'm the kind of chick that'll make the first move. Let me be the first to let the world know, and everybody that's in We Speaks Live, Sister Speak Live, all of this.
She Speaks Live audience.
She Speaks Live, Sisters Speak Live, She Speaks Live, I Speak Live.
Yes,
I'm just letting you know that I apologized affectionately to you before a crowded room of people. Now I'm doing it before a crowded world of people. Why? Because when we are positioned to be manipulated and as a pawn and put in a position that actually hurts someone, we have to be intelligent enough to right that which is wrong. And I was used, unfortunately, in the wrong way, but I never meant to hurt you or anybody for that matter of fact, but especially you being the creator of the show, you being the person that gave us opportunity, you saying, hey, this is what it is, let us work together. And as a result, they squandered all of that beautiful sisterhood, and I'm all for sisterhood, so which is why I'm here today to support you on your new show, and I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you. Okay.
I love you, Angie.
I love you more.
love you, Angie.
I love you more.
And I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
And this, I'm sorry, I brought my tissue because I already knew what this was finna be.
Oh, don't make me cry now.
No, I'm pull it together. But
right.
A couple of things I want to say with that.
Yes.
You never, ever have to apologize to me ever again. And I want to take the time to apologize to you for things that I said out of anger. And being
happens.
broken.
Sisters are.
We have that, right.
Right.
You know, and I apologize because you are royalty. You are musical royalty. You have been around longer than most of us. There's so much that we can learn from you.
That.
I'm saying I got my tissues right here. We're going to put them up here where they can be seen. You have been around longer than most of us, Angie. You have paid dues that we have not paid. We owe you the respect. We owe you the honor. We owe you so much for being a representation.
First of all, you don't owe me anything.
Oh.
The one thing that I expect of all of us that learn from each other is that we take each other's legacy and we move forward for the next generation of young women to come behind us. And one of the things that I want people to understand, recognize, and know is when you started out developing shows, plays, and television concepts, you were an inspiration for most young black women who weren't supposed to make it. And as a result, you allowed everyone to climb on your shoulders to get to the next step. And I just want to thank you for that. Secondly, if I didn't learn something from you, then it's a waste of time.
It just means so much. And I don't want to get too mushy and I'm going to get off of this fast, but there's this saying that your apology needs to be as loud as your disrespect. You know what I'm saying? And
because I never let any grass grow under my feet, and I knew that the time that I needed to see you, I needed to look you in your face as a woman and say, hey, after I learned what was done to hurt us all, let me be the first to put my big girl panties on and say it's okay. You know what I mean? This too shall pass. It doesn't mean that we walk in a perfect light.
Yes.
It just means that we all get tinged with some mess every now and again. But we have to know and understand that, guess what? for me to apologize to you in a room full of people, I don't want nobody else judging me. So let me say this so y'all don't talk about me behind my back. I am woman enough to accept when I've done something wrong. And just listening, that's why I don't believe in all that reality stuff as much as a lot of people want me to, because some of it is fake.
Most of it. 99.99% of it is some bullshit. But I said bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
And you, my mother, before she passed away, because the impact of that show,
of course.
We all go to heaven if we're good, right?
That's right.
And my mama was a good woman, and my daddy was a good man, so I know that is where they are. But people don't realize the impact of those things on our family members.
Yes.
And I will just never forget my mother. I love that Angie Stone. I mean, she apologized to me, she apologized to you, and that just meant so much. And I'm
glad
so
I was
grateful
able
to you
do
for
that while she was here.
Yeah, while she was here, she had a chance to have that experience,
Yes.
and that was just so big. And you were recently honored, and I had the opportunity to introduce you, and I was so proud of that moment and being able to have that moment.
Thank you.
And your sisterhood, really, Angie, your sisterhood means so much to me.
Thank you.
Because we're imperfect. All of us are imperfect. I've made mistakes, you've made mistakes, but the thing that is so important is having the ability to go back and be like, sis, I'm sorry I did that.
Yes.
And because we can apologize to each other. And to be here to support each other.
Because you know what? Most people that are envious of other people, they never want to see them get ahead. So therefore there's this wall that's always blocked or something that gets in the way. But God's timing is perfect. You're right where you're supposed to be. And I'm just so grateful that you called me
of course.
to say, come get on my show.
I'm
and I was able to do it.
Could you please come do this? And you're like, you know what? I got a lot going on, but I'm going to make some room for you. And I appreciate that.
Because I wanted you to know that there is no stone unturned. And at the end of the day, all of that is water under the bridge. So we have to keep moving forward.
Yes. So we having our tissue moment. So there may be some people out there watching this who don't know what we're talking about.
Right.
So to just elaborate and expound on what we're talking about, there was a lot of manipulation that was going on behind the scenes of R&B Divas.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, this thing was started as an opportunity for us to go from, like you say it best, Angie. We were at one point A-list, then we kind of went down to, in music to B-list, right?
We was trying to get back on A-list.
And it was a really positive, good movement.
Yes.
And there were people in your ear.
Yeah. Always people in our ears.
Our ears.
That were trying to distract us from the ultimate goal, which was to become relevant again. It wasn't like we were irrelevant, but the fact that the industry was changing and we were not ready to be yesterday's news. So the whole purpose of the show was not to be Real Housewives of Atlanta, but they kind of turned into a beat-up squad. And before we could get going as sisters and song and of spirit, we became like catfight divas.
Yeah.
And that was something that I didn't sign up for. And I know that when you created the show, along with Faith Evans, all of us were in the same space, wanting to ride off each other's shoulders to get back.
Empower each other and be real sisters.
And, they had told you guys I was too old to be on the show at one time.
Yeah.
And she's too this and she's too that. And I'm like, okay, I might be all of that, but I still got a top 5 record. Like, what does that have to go with? What does that have to do with anything? I mean, there are people in this industry that wish they had 40 years in the business. And my thing is, why are you hating on the fact that my longevity has been because I'm consistent and because I really love what I do? And
it was really sad to see that this was, one of the biggest shows on television at the time.
Like everybody was on that network. Yeah.
Right, right.
I think we'd have given them a run for their money, but I just think the people, the powers that be, were so messy that I found out someone's in the production team was dating my then fiance.
Girl, listen, sip on that tea. When I found out that said producer was messing around, I could not believe that.
Yeah, everybody wanted to think that I was making it up. And I had to remain humble in spite of, because we had children at home. They were always watching. We had just done Wife Swap. We were just in a great space. We had issues like everyone else. But then I found out he was dating one of the producers of the show. I did not want to sue the network for one individual's doing. And so when they started writing crazy stuff about, oh, this is this, and she's lying, she doesn't have any proof, I'm like, please don't make me bring out proof.
Don't make me bring out my receipts, honey. Don't make me bring out my receipts.
I had to really pray about it and ask God, you know, fight this battle for me. Because at this point, if I come out swinging, head's gonna roll. And as a result, you know, those people have now been dealt with by God. That's all I can say.
Yes, indeed. I mean, listen, what you put out, you get back tenfold. And I did take the network and some other folks to task.
Okay.
And I can't talk a whole lot about it because, of course, before the Time's Up movement came along, you know, there was this whole sign this thing saying that we ain't did nothing and everything is peachy and all is well.
But look at God. Look at where you are right now.
But look at where we are. Exactly. Okay. And I always say that R&B Divas was the biggest learning experience of my life because it taught me that if you don't own your narrative literally, like this show takes a lot of work.
It does.
As a host, as a person who putting sets together and all the thank you Stupendous Party Creations for these chairs, but you know, it takes a lot of work, but I'm willing to do that and invest that sweat equity. Exactly. And invest those resources because I know that we can control the narrative and I know that we can nip that playing games in the bud. I still can't get over the fact that there was a person on the production team. Yeah. Like, how was she doing? Was she manipulating like schedules and whatnot so she could go slide into your
booking secret hotel rooms?
What?
I know because they were all on my text messages when she thought she was texting his phone. It was really my business phone.
Because you're the boss lady. So
I'm the boss lady, so the phone, all the phones were mine. Like all the bank accounts were mine. And at the end of the day, all I had to do was order the phone records and said, hey, pay me some money.
Oh, you a better woman than me, girl.
I didn't do that because it wasn't TV One that did it to me. It was an employee that did it. And I just, I just felt like at that time it was, God wanted me to know who I was dealing with. And the greatest lesson was, you don't need this person in your life anymore.
You deserve better. You deserve better.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we're going to pray for him because from what I understand, he's really having a time in his life right now.
Yes, he was hit in Florida by a racist truck driver, where they he has brain damage. And he has been, had 4 brain surgeries, and on top of that, he was rendered a vegetable pretty much. It's been quite a while, but we are, obviously we're praying for his recovery. He is still a friend, and at the end of the day, you don't wish any bad on those people.
No,
but
not at all.
At the end of the day, you just have to be right with God. You really have to be right with people.
You have to get right. If you ain't right, you better get right.
Yes.
Get right. So have you talked to any of the ladies from the show since? Well,
of course, I talked to Kiki. She and
that's our sister. She was on our pilot episode.
She and I also talked to what's my baby name from 702?
Mila. Okay.
Talked to Mila. Yeah. I have talked to Selena. I did her show. I have talked to her. Not too many other people.
Yeah.
Lil Mo, Kelly Price.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't a part of the Atlanta show, they are still sisters in song.
Absolutely.
So we have that ongoing relationship. But I kind of tried to stay away from mess. So I kind of steer clear of the drama and just trying to be creative in my own right, because, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that if you're destined to do something great, if you just wait on your time, you're going to, you go through the pain, the process to get to the promise.
You go through the pain and process to get to the promise. Hello, this is from Angie Stone, y'all. Angie Stone on the show. I have, obviously Kiki's my girl.
Of course.
I actually saw Selena for the first time in many years.
Right.
I think for the first time since the show.
Really?
I saw Selena. Yeah, we did a BET Her special.
Okay.
And Selena was there, and we hugged it out. We had a good old hug. We had a good old hug.
Good.
I mean, the sisterhood was real, very real before all of the debacle of that whole thing. And what's really crazy is someone sent me a clip, right? And I didn't even listen to the whole clip. I listened to a part. They're like, you need to listen to this. You need to listen to this. And it was a clip of a podcast show that Phil Thornton had done with some other producers, and I guess Selena was on the show. And when I say this brother, and this is this year, right?
Wow.
We in 2019 about to go into 2020.
Yes.
And this dude was going in on me something awful. And just talking about all this trouble that I started and all this mess, and he was trying to bring Selena into it, but thank God, you know, she was just like, look, you know, we tear each other down enough. I'm over that. You know, in the moment it was real, but now I'm feeling better. But it's something about We Crazy or some podcast they did. And it really just kind of, I listened, and then I called my lawyer and I said, hey, listen to this whole thing and let me know if we need to send a cease and desist.
Right.
But what it really reminded me is that it was never us.
It was the same poison that was injected into us.
Exactly.
Yes.
It was the toxic environment of producers and men like Phil Thornton, who constantly wanted us to sort of make the show hot by being, I'm like, first of all, if you just operate in our regular everyday life, you're going to get some drama because our lives are full of it, you know? Just dealing with the stuff that we have to deal with every day being singers, you don't have to manufacture and create that stuff.
And let me just say this to you, Nicci, because just being as transparent as we know we have to be, I'm going to encourage you to treat that particular situation with kindness. You know why? Because it takes a lot for a person to be ugly. It takes a whole lot more for a person to just constantly harp on your downfall, in their opinion. It hurts them more to have to give off that. What I've learned is ignore brings more. So what? He said that stuff. So what? That's the way he may feel. You know what you do? You kill him with kindness and say, in spite of all the things that you have said or done to me, I love you because my God expects me to act as he would.
When we come back, we got to talk about what you're doing right now.
Absolutely.
What the future holds, what you've overcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Nicci Gilbert Daniels. This is the Angie Stone.
Angela Laverne Brown Williams Stone.
Thank you for that one, Angie. Thank you for that. We'll be right back. This She Speaks Live. 8. Baby, I am learning from my big sister. I'm learning.
But you know what? We are learning from each other. You have taught me so much, starting with this show, starting with R&B Divas, moving into the future. One of the things that I would love your help on, there was another thing that we were talking about while we were on our show, was talking about charities.
Yes.
You know, I have a foundation now called Angel Stripes.
Angel Stripes.
And what it is I took a page out of Candy Stripes many years ago where the volunteers would go into the hospitals. Well, my volunteers go into the nursing homes and the senior citizen homes. And I took a lot of folks out to vote, you know, 2 years in a row. I took them when Barack was running. I took all the senior citizens out for that. I'm trying to create a 50s ball for the senior citizens where there's an orchestra and they get to waltz and they get to do all that stuff. So I'm working on that. I put a board of directors together. I don't know what you're working on, but I would love for you to be one of my board members.
What I'm working on is being your board member.
Yes.
Being a part of the 50s dance.
Yes.
Being a part, whatever you need.
But listen, bigger than that, you have taught me so much. Moving into this whole genre of development and production, I'm going to need your expertise on that. I think, you know, we're stronger together than apart.
Absolutely.
I admire your hustle, girl. Your hustle is real. You still look beautiful. You sound incredible. And you've grown up a little. So it's time for us to put a tour together. I'm looking for that. I'm managing now. I'm
Angie
developing
Stone, Brown
shows.
Stone sound like a Stone Cold situation.
Okay. So
developing content, developing shows.
Not only that, we teetered around doing plays. You had a play.
Yes.
I mean, there are so many avenues.
You did Soul Kids Cabaret.
Yes. Come on, we done been around.
People don't even know that Soul Kids Cabaret. Oh, yes.
And I was so proud of you.
Yeah.
And now that we talk about that, you know, I've been in Atlanta for about 13 years now. I was hoping I'd work with Tyler Perry by now. Since he promised me, I'm waiting.
Come on, Tyler.
Okay.
Call us, Tyler.
And just watching you learn from that situation and create your own play and do your own stuff. It's so like Boss Lady.
Oh, thank
and
you,
I'm
Angie.
proud of you for so many other things, but just ultimately being an inspiration for all of us and having loaning us your shoulders to climb on. The very first thing I want you guys to know is when Nicci called me to be a part of this show, she knows that I'm doing the same thing that she's doing, and she says, Angie, if you want to do your show, I have the place for you to do it at. We got to set up, we can cut it. That is an unselfish move to me, and I am so grateful that your spirit, you're so comfortable in your skin that you don't mind sharing the stage.
Oh my God!
Okay?
Listen. I don't want. There's nothing fun about being the only person at a party with all the resources. There's nothing we can do. We got to really lift each other in real life. We got to really stand up for each other in real life. And I love and appreciate you so much for standing up with me and for me, and us standing up for each other. And
Absolutely.
It's just. I hope that. You know, I know it was a little tumultuous with the R&B Divas thing, and I hope that all of the ladies can take a page out of what we're doing here, our book, so that we can become more powerful. There's so much more strength in numbers.
Well, let me just say this to you based on people taking a page out of our book. What I've learned in my career, 40 years in this game, is anytime you're the first and you do something for the first time, it wouldn't be successful if you didn't make mistakes. See, there has to be mistakes in the first time, or else you don't learn anything. So that was your first run of the mill. Second time, you're going to hit the ball out the park.
Yes, indeed. I believe that. I received that.
So just know that.
And receive it, and God is going to perform it today.
Okay. Yes. I'm looking at you, and you look so completely happy. And like I said, Angie, we have gone through a lot. And I'm not talking just the record industry. I'm talking emotionally. I'm talking spiritually. I'm just talking, you know, in the way of this world and this industry, and to still be standing here having a decent conversation and being able to laugh and still grow and build. It's called success.
It is. That is the true definition of success. And speaking of success, ma'am.
Yes.
You look good. Like Selena Father say, good.
Thank you.
You look amazing.
Well, you know, I've come through a lot. I have some health challenges this past year that I overcame, and it was rough, but I had to stop living for the world and start living for Angie. Because I'm going to tell you, we give so much of ourselves to the world. And when I say that, being a celebrity, being in the spotlight, always feeling like you got to be there for the fans and doing this and doing that, that I had allowed myself to run down. And at the end of the day, God said, who's taking care of you?
Wow.
So I had to stop, and I had to cancel some things, and I had to just breathe a moment.
Yeah.
Now I'm in the best shape. I went to a holistic doctor. I'm vegan. Now I'm in the best shape I've ever been in.
You could be getting vegan, Angie.
Yes.
I need to get some vegan food. Stop playing, because I've been trying.
Now I'm 100 pounds lighter, and I hadn't been that in 15 years. And I started to really I was a diabetic. I'm no longer diabetic because I just started eating right and started loving me for me. And now I'm in a place where people go, oh my, I think I'm too skinny, but people go, oh, you look great. And I'm like, really?
You look great.
And I appreciate that. But I have to tell you, it hasn't been easy. Now that I'm on Easy Street, I can't go but one place, and that's up from here.
To the top. Angie Stone, listen, you lost 100 physical pounds, but I feel like you've also lost a different kind of weight. The weight of the world that is often on our shoulders. Listen, let me tell you, the weight of the world that is often on our shoulders. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for hearing me, for seeing me, for being my sister in song in real life and not just for TV. You understand what I'm saying?
You know, I don't have any sisters and brothers, so I adopt you as my sister.
I'm here.
Mainly because you have the same spirit, the same heart, the same determination, and I can identify with that.
Okay, real quick, what do you have going on? Where can we catch you? Where can they follow you? Where can they find you?
All you got to do is AngieStoneOnline.com. You can go to AngelStripes.com for my foundation. All my handle is the same, AngieStone.com. The Angie Stone on Instagram. There's also one called Bantu2. I got two on Instagram, but the real Angie Stone.
And you got new music coming?
I have a new album called Full Circle. I have a second, the first single was Dinosaur. The second single is Ain't Nobody Got Time for That.
And where is it available? All
over,
platforms?
iTunes, everywhere.
New, and give me the title again.
Full circle
Full
is the
circle,
title
and
of the
this
album.
is a full. Talk about full circle.
This is a full circle.
This is a full circle moment.
We've come full circle.
I done said it before and I'll say it again. I love you.
I love you
I'm so
more.
excited about what we're about to do.
Yes.
The ideas that we're about to put into
Yeah, we got a
full
meeting
effect.
Thursday, girl.
We got
Let's
a
make
meeting
it
on
happen,
Thursday.
okay?
Quit playing. We got a meeting on Thursday. Shout out to the sister who gave us these little. These
This is
are
off the Richter, and it's
alcohol-free cocktails, and it's good, ain't it? Mm-hmm. Pretty Ricky.
You
Pretty
see, I've been
Meals on
taking my
Wheels.
time with it. I love
I
it.
know it's good, right? It's real good. Y'all,
This is
my
all
sister.
natural fruit juice. Fruits in here, no liquor, just so you be clear.
Right.
We ain't sitting up here hitting on cocktails.
Right.
What we're doing is, this is healthy stuff.
This is good stuff for you.
Okay.
And this was good for me. I thank you.
This
And I
is
hope we
therapeutic.
have the opportunity to have this conversation with everybody else, because you know me.
Yeah, you know what? We might need to do a real reunion.
We got to do a recap.
We got to do a real reunion.
That should be a project we could work on. Y'all want
Yes.
to see a real R&B Divas reunion? A real one?
A
We
real
got you.
reunion.
She
And
speaks
sit down.
live.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what we need to
My
do.
sunshine
Okay.
has come.
And I'm what? All
And
cried
I'm all
out.
cried out.
Okay.
I love
and
you,
I'm
Angie.
in this
Thank
cloud.
y'all. She
I love
speaks
you too.
live, y'all. Yay.